Hey guys, welcome to Quite Frankly. And well, you hear something different, right? The audio. It's really not what you're used to from us. And that's because we're now recording actually via the microphone of the camera. And we're not using our normal audio system. Now in video, audio is incredibly important. People actually say the video quality, it's important, but the audio quality is much more important. So what do we normally use? We normally use a wireless Sennheiser lav to this device, and then we go wireless to the camera. So let's hear the difference when we engage this one. So Henrik, if you stop recording, we're gonna add audio.
Now that sounds a lot better, right? Because now you can actually hear my voice. Now, it's often forgotten that audio is so incredibly important. So make sure that when you're in video, that you make sure your audio is okay. Now that's for video. I also do sometimes screen captures, for example, for webinars or for the Quite Franklys or any other webinar we do. Now, how do you do a screen capture? Very simple, you capture your screen. Now in most cases, of course, you can use the internal microphone, for example, your MacBook. And it has different options. For example, you can cut the ambient noise. But if you want a little bit better quality or a lot better quality, you can of course get a lot of external microphones. For example, this Rode. Now this one is connected via USB. Now with microphones there are two different options. Well, there are many different options, but let's call it two different options. The directional ones that will actually only record the sound that's in front of them. And you have the omnidirectional ones, the one that will record sound all around. And there are many variations of that. So let's just do a very simple test. We're going to do a screen capture. And the first capture I'm going to use just the internal microphone from my MacBook with very simple, nothing engaged in the settings. For the second one, I'm going to engage the ambient noise killer from Apple, which is normally in your settings from your MacBook. And the third one, I'm going to be using the Rode microphone. And you guys decide which one is best.
Okay, let's see how you can set your microphones in the macOS system. You go to your system preferences and you go to sound. Now here you can select your internal microphone. Or, of course, I'm now recording via the Rode because I'm using ScreenFlow and I can use a different microphone than I've set here. So it's now on built-in, and as you can see, as soon as it's on built-in, I can actually use an extra option called Use Ambient Noise Reduction. If you're in a noisy environment, I really advise you guys to use this. As soon as I switch to the Rode, you see that there's no option there anymore. So it only works for the internal microphone. So this is how you can set your inputs. Also, you can set your levels here. So you can lower the level or raise the level. This first test, you're now hearing my voice through the internal microphone from a MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina 2015. And there's actually an option where you can cut the ambient noise in your microphone. And in this instance, I have this option not engaged. In other words, you will hear the ambient noise. So let's make some noise in the studio, because at this moment we're in a silent studio. So I'll ask Annemiek to walk around with the strobe. And in the background you can now actually hear her walking around with the strobe. And she will now pick up my keys from my desk and walk towards the safe. And of course she's making a lot of noise with the keys. She will be opening the safe, and then with the keys jingling she will walk in front of me to make sure that you won't pick up the sound behind me, which you actually are picking up now because the safe is behind me. And the microphone is of course directional. So she will now jingle the keys and walk behind me. At this moment she's now beside me, and now she will walk in front of me towards the strobes, meaning that she will actually walk away from the microphone. Okay. So this is the internal microphone with the ambient noise filter not engaged. Okay, so let's start this test again. And now I have the ambient noise killer, let's call it noise killer, from Apple actually enabled in the settings. So this is the silent studio, so now you're hearing only my voice. This is of course a best case scenario because there's no ambient noise. So let's make sure that there is some ambient noise. So Annie, can you walk around with the strobe again? So she's walking around with my strobe in the studio and you will hear some noise in the background. There we go. And of course the ambient sound is now disconnected and the strobes are actually in front of me. She's now picking up the keys from the desk and making a lot of noise, as most women of course will do with keys. That's actually a joke, guys. She's now opening the safe and she's walking back with the keys and she's walking from behind me. She's now approximately beside me and she will now walk in front of the laptop with the keys. And she's now actually in front of the laptop. So this is the sound with the ambient noise engaged in the settings from the Apple MacBook. Okay guys, so now I'm using the Rode NT USB, which is a high-end, really good microphone for your laptop. It's using USB. And again, we're now in a silent studio, so this is a best case scenario. So let's ask Anouk to make some noise in the background. She's walking around with my strobe. It's, by the way, an ELC 500 from Allengrome with a new light motive, as you can hear. Actually, you can't hear that, but I have to keep talking, right? Because otherwise you don't hear anything. She's picking up the keys now, walking towards our safe and trying to open it up. And there she goes. And again, you can hear it in the background because actually she's behind me. Now let's keep walking and we can. Now she's beside me with the keys. So now you should hear the keys very loud. Now let's walk in front of the laptop. So now she's walking outside of the range of the microphone. And you can hear it's getting fader. So this was the Rode microphone. So you now heard all three options, the internal microphone, the ambient noise killer from Apple and the Rode. Now which one is better? So I like the sound of the Rode a little bit better. It's more warm and I just like my voice better on the Rode. So if I have to be honest, if I am looking for a new laptop microphone, this is the one that I would be getting. It's connected via USB, it has a really long cable, you can put your headphones in. And overall, it's a very, very good microphone. So without any doubt, this is the one I would get. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.